the engine for Aston Martin. So Aston Martin, we all know that Mercedes is supposed to have the advantage over everybody. And in fact, you mentioned earlier that Aston Martin is considered to be one of the favorites. Right now, they're not considered to be one of the favorites because of some delays with the engine and because the representatives from Honda said that they have some problems. And from what we understand, it might take, Nui has said that the first 6 weeks will be a rolling test for them to adapt. But today I want to focus on the strengths of their engine, in which Honda is doing very well. Honda is doing well with the electrical aspect of the engine. So even though they may not have the horsepower that Mercedes has, which would be tremendously more, especially taking into account that they have the loophole, there are reasons to believe that Aston Martin will be able to have more sustained power because of certain aspects of their electrical unit of the engine, which is going to be very sufficient. Is going to be very efficient. I forgot why they said, but it's something they're using, a sort of base that they're using, which allows them to be able to absorb and to handle the capacity. What's going to be the power of the engine? 350 what?
400 kilowatts. 400 kilowatts.
Yeah, I thought it was 350. 400 kilowatts. That's a lot. But apparently Honda has something with the base of the electrical part that can handle that a lot better. And that's going to give them a lot of efficiency. It's going to also give them thermal efficiency. And at the same time, it's going to allow them to sustain power and straight line speed longer than most cars. So it'll be less likely that they'll have the clipping. So the idea is that Mercedes will have more horsepower and raw speed. There's a chance that because all of this is still speculation, that with the Honda engine and Aston Martin, they're going to be able to have more sustained speed, and they're not going to have to worry about battery power running out, which is going to be very important for the races. Also, since they're relying a lot on the electrical part, and they create their own Aston Martin. The Aston Martin, even though it's a Honda engine, it's built with the chassis, so it's very efficient for aero efficiency. And what they've done is that Nui has created pockets of energy at the floor, which give the car a lot more stability. And we know stability is going to be a problem with these cars because of the tires and everything else. So it seems like with this electric aspect of the engine, there's going to be a lot of aerodynamic advantages for Aston Martin as compared to Mercedes. And also, they'll have less problems with energy being drained from the engine or from the battery than other teams. What are your thoughts, Roman?
Yeah, definitely. With Honda, it's a bit of an interesting thing because the recent success was with Red Bull, and their main advantage came with how much rapidly they deployed their power and how quickly it was able to recharge. So we could say quite confidently that Honda definitely is in the electrical department because of the rapid recharge and rapid deployment. But it's to be noted that half of that recharge power came from the MGU-H, which was a passive one, and that has been removed from now. So now it's kind of to be seen that how well Honda will do when it comes to recharge, because with deployment, we can confidently, I can say that Honda will be the better one versus Mercedes. And when it comes to deployment of power, Honda is a league of its own. That's how in 2021, Max got so much better corner exits because of that deployment. That is just Honda's game. But the thing is, we are such less conservative. We use so much of power now, right? You have to recharge them faster and faster. And the question is, how well can Honda manage the recharge part?
Yeah, and I don't know, but I do know that something with the materials that they've used and with the base on the electric part of the engine or the power unit, they're saying that that's going to be able to has a better capacity for that 400 kilowatts, like you said. So, and the idea is that overall, it's just a lot more efficient. So I would think that it would also work with the recharge, but like you said, the recharge part, that's going to involve a lot of energy, especially coming off of corners. So that they're going to have that challenge, but I would think that they're going to handle it a lot better than some teams. Now, the team to watch out for though with all of this is Audi too, and Ferrari too, because but they're going to be heavier. What do you think about that? They're also going to be very good with go ahead.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, competition is going to be there. The entire purpose of these regulations is to create a lot of challenges and to create surprises. In 2022, I didn't expect Ferrari to be anywhere close to Red Bull, and here they were, leading the first half of the season. So there can be surprises, and seeing the Audi and Alpine, they are underweight. Basically, they have reached the weight limit for whatever FIA has set.
You mean overweight or underweight?
They're perfectly weighted. It's
Oh, okay.
764 kilograms as the weight which they have to meet, and Audi and Alpine have met that weight
Oh,
requirement.
okay. Yeah.
So
But they'll
they
be
are
Audi's
perfectly
a little bit
weighted.
heavier though because they'll be using no, it's not Audi. It's I'm thinking about the other team. The Cadillac
Ferrari.
is going to be, yeah, Ferrari has a heavy and that's going to be Cadillac. So I got it mixed up. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, with Ferrari, it's an interesting one because what they're doing is kind of an old technology using the modern sense. But this, what they're trying to achieve is it only makes sense if they're struggling somewhere else. Because
Yeah.
in any way, you will not push the engine so much to get performance unless you're lacking somewhere else and to put on the extra weight which comes with it. So unless
Yeah,
they have enough performance to negate the weight and get more performance out of it, it doesn't make any sense. But one
yeah.
thing is for sure, I can say that Ferrari may have a better reliability. But I said that, and recently news comes out of Italy that one of their dyno tests crashed because the engine blew up. So
That's crazy. Yeah. All
I
right. That's yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, Ferrari has a different type of unreliability. It's not just the engine. Unreliability that within any year or any couple of years, they have problems in so many areas. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not a reliable
Yep,
team in general.
not
Not
at
just the
all.
drivers. It's just not. It's there's too much. In other words, instead of calling them unreliable, it's chaotic. The team is chaotic. The
Absolute
car is
chaos.
chaotic. Chaos. It's what you see with the car is also what you see with the team, the management structure. It's just I don't know what's going on there. That's another team that we need to put a fine lens on and look at their structure and who's
Oh,
running
I'm gonna have
things
such a
there.
big rant. I have such a big rant about Ferrari. That's for later day, though.
Oh yeah, well we can do that at the end if you want to. But yeah, well let's get back to
No, that's later day.
Aston Martin. So Aston Martin says that they've admitted Honda has admitted that they've had problems in certain areas, not fatal problems, but difficult problems. My guess is that it has something to do with the combustion. Maybe not. These are very technical things. Do you have any insight to some of the problems that they've had that's causing their delay, and which, for sure, starting off in Australia, they're not going to be one of the favorites in their estimation. We don't really know because we don't know what's going to happen. This is pure chaos. But they're saying it's going to take them 6 weeks to get into full stride. What are your thoughts? Have you highlighted any problems or identified any problems through research that they may have with the engine development and the power unit or anything? It could be the aerodynamics or just anything with the package. Yeah.
At the moment, the aerodynamics is a bit of a question mark for everyone since Aston Martin has not leaked anything. But the engine part for Honda is interesting because the three flaws I see in the engine. One, it's not really Honda's fault, it's Aramco's fault. It is the fuel.
Yeah.
Aramco, they have supplied sustainable fuels for F2 and F3. The problem is F1 is a different ball game entirely. So I don't see Aramco beating suppliers like Shell, Petronas, or ExxonMobil when it comes to fuel. Even Castrol with BP. I don't see Aramco beating them when it comes to efficiency per kilogram. I just don't see it happening. So the second one is Honda's just. It's interesting to see, right? Because we see Hondas like they have been since 2016, right? Since I believe 2015, they have been in the sport again, coming back. And in end of 2021, they were supposed to go off and don't never come back to Formula One. But they sold all the machinery, they divested from Formula One, they took out the engineers and whatnot. And suddenly they're like, oh no, we want to come back to Formula One. And they came back to Formula One and they had to restart all of the things again. They had to build new facilities,
Yeah.
again, whatnot. This is not the same Honda that we know for Red Bull.
These
This is
guys
not
were
the
too
same
hasty
Honda.
in jumping out of the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not the same Honda that we know. It's the same but different in a way. So it's kind of to see how they will again get back the squad, fix up stuff and whatnot. Don't forget the main engine factory was built near Silverstone in UK, and that was sold to Red Bull. So the factory where the old Honda engines that we know and seems successful is controlled by Red Bull. So at the same time, it's kind of a question mark. Is that okay? So if the main people and the structure of the factory everything is with Red Bull,
They're
what do
making
you
clones.
have Honda?
Clones of
Yeah, they're
Honda
making a
engines.
clone. They're making
They're
a
making a
clone.
Chinese Honda engine, like a Chinese iPad, same thing, right? And it's even better
Kind of.
because, I'm just joking, but it's even better because now it'll be a continuous transition. Whereas Honda jumped out and they don't have those people there anymore. So Honda is going to be making something that's not Honda. I'm just joking, but yeah. So we'll see. Basically, what you're
Exactly.
saying that Red Bull basically has their engine, the engine engineers that Honda had that were working for Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
That
Yeah, that's a
That's the
good
second
one.
one. And the third one, this has to come with the again electrical problems. The ICU part, Honda has proven a good reliability from the previous years. They collect a lot of data. They know these compression ratios, how they work, but they haven't taken full advantage of it yet. So the problem comes with electronic unit. Recently, they did a Tokyo show of revealing their engine, and a part of the engine was blurred out so no one can see the engine. I suspect the blurred out part was the MGUK, the motor. And this is actually reminds you of 2022. In 2022, the first few races, Honda was struggling with the MGUK, and because it was unreliable at the moment, it was the engine blowing up, not the entire engine, the MGUK specifically. So
Hmm.
I think that either they're solving the problem with the MGUK or they're the same problem again with the MGUK, and they're trying to find some solution for it. So those are
Yeah,
the three problems I see from the Honda and for Aston
yeah,
Martin.
yeah. So we'll see where it goes. I'll just make an educated guess that there's just too much chaos to say, but relative to the front runners, maybe Aston Martin will be struggling a little bit for the first 3 or 4 races, 5 or 6 races, and then we'll see what goes there. After 6 races, nobody can see what's going to happen. But when I say they're struggling,
Obviously.
I still think they'll be in the top five. Aston Martin will be top five, top six, first half of the first 6 races of the season. What do you think? Yeah.
I think for them at the moment, with all these investment and factory works with Honda, a top five is a minimum for them. A top five is a minimum for them.
Yeah.
They can't screw it up. And don't forget, there's Williams and Alpine who have these Mercedes engine, and they have been performing better than Aston Martin in some regards. So
Yeah.
they have that challenge as well. So top
But top
five
five
is
is
minimum
top
for
five.
Aston Martin. Top five is minimum for Aston Martin. But they're top teams as well, like Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull. And they occupy the top four comfortably. So it is a battle for top five.
Yeah, if they're lucky, they could get into fourth. If they're very lucky, third. But yeah, I think top five is what they'll be at. All right,
Definitely.
so we'll come back again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Okay. I don't do those flourishing endings like a Falabi or Kunle. All right.